All right, peace everybody. It's me again, Art Morrison III, here subbing in for my older brother, Jay Morrison, who is getting nice and pretty for you all and getting a haircut in the other room so he can crush this Tulsa Talk Thursdays on this beautiful evening here in Atlanta. I wanted to, before I get started, obviously pay tribute to Malcolm X. Today marks the day that he passed, obviously. So this whole Tulsa Talk is going to be surrounding Malcolm, his legacy, his vision, and how we're going to use Tulsa as a vehicle in order to see that vision come to light, along with many other crusaders for our community and our culture, and to move it forward. And then, you know, us as an organization and my brother being the modern day young Malcolm, you know, continue that vision going on. But before we get into, you know, Jay and his tribute, as well as what he has for you all today during Tulsa Talk, I wanted to point everyone's attention to a free webinar that we are doing after this, hosted by Jay himself, immediately after this at 9 p.m., hosted by Jay and the Jay Morrison Academy. The name of the webinar is How to Get Funding for Any Real Estate or Business Deal. How to get funding for any real estate or business deal. And this is a free webinar. You do not have to pay. Jay has had a great energy in the office this week. And we were just extremely excited at the whiteboard on Tuesday. And he said, you know what? This Thursday, right after Tulsa Talks, I want to do a free webinar for everybody. I have some free game to give. And we're noticing that within our community, we're noticing that all of us as entrepreneurs in our organizations, both Tulsa and JMA and everything under the JM brand, we are an incubator for entrepreneurs. And we noticed that in all of our coaching, all of our customers, all of our clients, everyone in our community is missing like one or two pieces to the secret sauce in taking their business to the next level of receiving funding, or really I'll keep it at that, receiving funding. And that secret sauce, my brother Jay wants to share today, immediately after this webinar. So make sure you tune in to JM Academy. I never know how to say it verbally. At JM Academy, at JAYM Academy, right? On IG, as well as their Facebook page immediately after this Tulsa Talk. What else can I update people on before Jay hops on in regards to Tulsa? I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, check out tulsa-real-estate-fund.com. Brand new website. What'd you say?
Press conference.
Oh, that too. We'll bring that up. Check out tulsa-real-estate-fund.com. Brand new website for you all. I believe it went live last week. Yes. It's live last week. I encourage everyone to check it out, because now there's some cool content as well as some updated frequently asked questions for all of you who have questions. Obviously, we'll still have our Q&A at the end of this to answer any questions in regards to Tulsa. But now at tulsa-real-estate-fund.com, you can not only get more updated frequently asked questions, but you can also actually get updates on the current deals and acquisitions that we have. So acquisitions in New Jersey, acquisition in St. Louis, acquisition in here in East Point, Georgia. You can actually get updates. You can see the numbers live. I'm not sure how often they're going to be posting things, but long story short is it's an updated website with the deals on the website, which is huge. For those of you who are sponsors, developers, or in the real estate game, and you want to learn or know how to receive funding from Tulsa, how to partner with Tulsa on that end, there is a nice new extensive application on the Tulsa Real Estate Fund website. Feel free to apply. We are still accepting any deals. We still have capital to deploy to better our community. On the other end, we get a lot of questions about, is it still too late? Believe it or not, is it still too late to invest? Is it still too late to get in? This is just the daily reminder. It is not too late, right? To go to tulsa-real-estate-fund.com and open your account. For as little as $500, you can own a piece of all three of our acquisitions that we currently own, not to mention over $300 million in deals in underwriting that we are currently doing as we speak. You will have a piece or a share of those as well. So tulsa-real-estate-fund.com, brand new website, new application process, deal updates, new frequently asked questions, and just an overall super cool website. What else I got to cover? We got the webinar, we got the new website, and lastly, this is a huge deal and a huge piece to our economic ecosystem that we've built here under the Jay Morrison brand, right? Is the American Education Reform Press Conference next week here at Clark University in Atlanta. Jay Morrison is hosting a national press conference with a huge announcement in regards to the American education system and the major part that we play. And when I say we, I mean we at the Jay Morrison Academy, but I really mean we as a community, right? The major part that we play in reforming the American education system so that we don't leave high school and college knowing photosynthesis and all this other stuff, Pythagorean theorem, and not how to calculate ROI, not how to own real estate assets, not understanding taxes, not understanding tax strategies, right? So this is an extremely huge deal for us, and we want all of you to be involved. We want all of you to tune in. We're gonna be going live from every place that you know we've ever gone live, from Jay's personal Instagram page, his Facebook page, his YouTube, the Jay Morrison Academy's Facebook page, YouTube, and also Tulsa Real Estate Fund's Facebook page, YouTube, and Instagram. Right, I think I missed Jay Morrison Academy's Instagram, but my point is it's going live everywhere. There's only 150 seats at the press conference, so anyone who wants to, reserve your seat at the press conference, you got to get there early because there's limited seats, and it's going to be a big deal, huge announcement on how we reshape the American education system. And again, when I say we, I mean all of us. So if you go to Jay's Instagram page right now, you might see an ambiguous red post. I'm encouraging all of you to repost that red post if you feel that you've been underserved by the American education system as we know it, and you feel there's change needed or reform needed. So again, American education reform, Jay always walks in and throws me off. American education reform press conference next week, as well as the new Tulsa Real Estate Fund website you can go visit, as well as, what was the last thing I said? Oh, and the webinar right after this if you want some free game on how to get funding for any real estate or business deal. How to get funding, Jay Morrison right after this. Thank you all, I'm Art Morrison III. You can follow me at Art Morrison III on Instagram. My brother is here to hook you all up with your Tulsa Talk, and then follow right after that. He's gonna put in 2.5 hours of work for a Tulsa Talk Thursday and a free webinar after this. Tune in, everyone. Peace and thank you.
Oh, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Good luck. Hey, jacket.
Thank you.
What's up? What's up, TREF Life? Shout out to the King Art Morrison III, the heir to the throne. First of all, part of my tardiness, I had to get a fresh haircut, as you see. Shape up, all that. Beard trim. I gotta be respectable as a fund manager, as your partner and a CEO. I gotta be respectable, especially on my hoodie day. Atlanta influences everything. ATL. Jersey made me, Atlanta pays me. I gotta say. Anyway, second most biggest announcement of today. There's two parts to the second announcement. First and foremost, happy birthday, happy Queen Day to my queen. Our queen, our sister, our partner, our Tulsa Real Estate Fund Chief Communications Officer, Mrs. Ernestine Morrison. Actually, yeah. Baby, I know you're watching this live. I love you, baby. Happy birthday, Mrs. Ernestine Morrison. Turns 32 years old today. That's right, I got me a little tenderoni. And also today, February 21st, marks our 7-month anniversary of our nuptials, right? Of our marriage. So 7-month anniversary. Happy anniversary, baby. Happy birthday to you. My phone? Oh, yeah, I got my phone. So what's happening? Do that. Now, so major announcements. Art just gave you one about next week's AIR initiative, American Education Reform. Again, please repost that and all the posts we post about this. this is going to be something that might almost top being bigger than Tulsa. I don't know. It's TREF life for life, but this American education reform and how we want to revolutionize, how we're going to revolutionize the American education system and really innovate it, add to it, help perfect it, help to evolve it, and to make sure that our next generations don't suffer educationally as we have, right? And on that note, I want to make the next biggest announcement of February 21st, which is a prayer, a salute, a hand over the heart, a black, brown, white, yellow, purple power fist up for our forefather, excuse me, I'm about to say Martin Luther King, the Honorable Malcolm X. Today was the anniversary, I believe 54th anniversary of his death, of his assassination. So Malcolm X, our great forefather, leader, and hero, our brother, was assassinated 54 years ago today. So we want to honor him as, it doesn't matter if the American government honors his birthday or his anniversary or they acknowledge him. We must acknowledge someone who contributed so much of his life, so much sacrifice that he and Betty Shabazz, his wife, and his family, so much they gave towards the advancement of African people all throughout the world, and for human rights of all people. And I'm a studier of Malcolm, I'm a student of Malcolm, of his work, of his legacy, of his historical accomplishments, of his evolution. Many people know Malcolm X for being the guy that said, hey, white people are devils, which was his earlier teachings and understanding and etc. Which I want to say, America as a whole X's out Malcolm X because of that thought process or those earlier ideologies. They say, how can we honor a guy that said white people were devils? In a climate where he was watching black people get lynched and murdered by white people and his father killed by the KKK, and in a climate where we can honor presidents and congresspeople and business owners in the United States who literally owned, molested, enslaved, and murdered black people, we can forgive them, but America can't seem to forgive Malcolm X for his earlier ideologies. But as a student of Malcolm X, I learned his later ideologies were at the Oxford Hall in London, England, where he said, I don't care what race you are, what color you are, what religion you are, what ethnicity, if you are about getting rid of injustice here on this earth, I can work with you. That was the Malcolm X just a few months before his assassination, actually 3 months before his assassination. So if you really study this great hero, you'll see his evolution even through the pain and trauma of the Jim Crow era of the American history. He still evolved into a unbiased leader, but still an advocate for human rights and a deep advocate for Afro-American rights, as it was called, or African-American rights, as we call it. But more importantly, when it comes to what we're doing here with Tulsa in regards to economics and what we're doing through our sister organizations in regards to American education reform, one of the most, and I want to encourage everyone of every walk of life, black, brown, white, purple, green, yellow, whatever, right, rainbow. I want everyone from all walks of life to please just take your time and zone out one day and watch Malcolm X's speech, The Ballot or the Bullet. It's life-changing. No matter what, it's the perspective you'll gain you'll thank me for it, and more importantly, thank Malcolm X for it. But in The Ballot or the Bullet, Malcolm X said some very profound things. He said many profound things, but one concept that I live by and that I wrote this antidote for in The Solution, this best-selling book. Malcolm X said, we suffer from political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. And so when I thought about that, and I knew what oppression was, but I never really defined it. So I Google searched oppression, the definition, and I saw that oppression is a burdensome treatment by an authority, right, towards a people, right? A system or an authority that has, or people that are burdened by a system or authority, right? That's oppression, when you're burdened down. Then I looked up economic exploitation. I really want to see what exploitation meant, right? And exploiting was being taken advantage of, right? Being misused. Then I looked up social degradation, and the word degradation is to be degraded or degrading oneself. So I was like, cool. Now I want to focus on the economic exploitation piece in honor of Malcolm X, his legacy, his diagnosis he gave our community in the ballot or the bullet, and his fight for human rights for mankind. Good night, Queen Jazz. In that economic, so I said, why are we economically exploited, right? And my contention that I believe is a proven contention is underserved communities, the urban community, particularly at that time and still today, the black community or the African community in America, but even just lower socioeconomic class, middle class, even at times, even some of the upper class are even economically exploited in the system. Why is because people are undereducated, they're underinformed, and they're underexposed to financial concepts and wealth generating concepts and wealth strategy concepts. That's why the exploitation, they don't know enough. Also, the exploitation is because of the lack of knowledge, the ignorance, underserved people, especially in urban communities, are not financially sophisticated enough because of their ignorance, their lack of knowledge. They're not financially sophisticated enough to effectively pull off, if you will, effectively execute or operate businesses, to transfer wealth, to generate wealth, to own real estate assets, to understand the evaluation of those assets, negotiate all those financial functions, right? Those wealth generation functions. So I said, well, and because of the financial immaturity, folks in underserved communities cannot compete against the conglomerate of the super wealthy, and many times are not financially mature enough to practice group economics, cooperative economics, or pool their dollars together to have a collective, right? So individually, we can make 100,000, we can make a few million, we can make 10 million, we can make 100 million individually, but as a fist, we can control billions and trillions of dollars. But it's hard to form that fist and get the fist on the same page if half the fist is economically immature, economically ignorant, economically uninformed, economically undereducated, economically underserved. And so as we properly inform and educate ourselves economically and from a financial strategy perspective, it makes it easier to do what we're doing right now, current day, living out Malcolm's dream of economic stimulation, right, to combat our economic exploitation. So the fact of this economic unity we have through the Tulsa Real Estate Fund to pull our dollars together to raise millions in capital and then deploy that capital into the community as a community reinvestment fund and partner, that is the dream of Malcolm X, to control our own dollars. To, in a sophisticated, transparent, and regulated and responsible way, control our own dollars for the revitalization of our community. That was Malcolm X's dream. People out here with Malcolm X hat-ons, Malcolm X blackface, Malcolm X hashtags, but have you participated in the dream and the vision and the instructions that Malcolm X gave us to take control of your own community, invest in your own businesses? Malcolm X said in the ballot or the bullet, I believe it's still the ballot or the bullet, that the economic principle is this: when you take a dollar from out of your community and spend it in a grocery store, spend it, so I close my fist. Your dollar's over here. When that dollar now comes over to this community over here, to a grocery store, to a real estate fund, to a bank, to a mall, to a movie theater, to anywhere, when your dollar leaves your community and goes into another community, your community now gets poorer and this community now gets richer. When that continues to happen, you'll find that your community has now lost its assets and resources, and the community in which you spent your money got richer and richer. The community in which your money came from got poorer and poorer. And so the concept was, if we practice group economics and more intentionally, not to be racist, not to be biased, not to be bigots, but to economically intentionally stimulate underserved communities, meaning they have not been served properly. So to stimulate those economically underserved communities, What we're doing here with Tulsa is saying, hey, let's pull our dollars together, keep them from within our community, and go revitalize and stimulate the investors, developers, business owners, innovators in our community with capital to be able to produce more revenue and more jobs for our community. We're living out Malcolm X's instructions, right? And an antidote to the diagnosis he gave us of economic exploitation. And as Tulsa Real Estate Fund's fund manager, fiduciary, and CEO, I want to do my best job in carrying on that torch and motivating and inspiring you to be a part of that movement in this legacy. And so we're living out Malcolm's legacy. So that's where you hear me ever say young Malcolm or hashtag young Malcolm. It's not that I want to be Malcolm X or can be Malcolm X. I can't be. Malcolm X has passed away. And Malcolm X's legacy is his legacy. But as an ode and to pay homage to Malcolm X, I say young Malcolm because I'm a young man in this generation willing to adopt the best of Malcolm's ideologies and strategies and live them out and extend his legacy. So instead of saying Black Robin Hood or some other Henry J. Ford or whoever it is and paying an ode and homage to someone else from outside of my community, I'd rather pay homage to, I won't even say emulate, but I'd rather just be inspired by, and I'd rather live a legacy of, and I'd rather promote the name of one of our great heroes. Not to be him, not to disrespect he or his family or his legacy, but to extend and to add value and to live and to learn from that legacy and that instruction, right? And so we all should be young Malcolms. We all should be young Bettys. We all should be looking to extend the legacy of our great leaders who sacrificed their lives for us. And so that's what this Tulsa Fund movement is all about. It's about solving the problems and creating institutions and vehicles to solve the problems that we hold dear to our heart and that we know for the last 50 and 450 years have plagued our communities, especially here in America and eventually internationally and abroad. And so I do want to say, Malcolm, we appreciate you. King, we love you. We know your spirit is amongst us. We know that you're watching us. We know that you're proud of us. We know that when you did the ballot or the bullet speech that, 54 years after, I know you knew that some African warrior, princess or prince or king or queen or hero was going to pick up on your message and go walk it out, go live it out, go take your instruction that was given to you by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad at that time to do the work needed for self-determination, self-improvement, for self-reliance, for self-repair, and that we take our issues into our own hands as a community, and say, what can we do for ourselves? Why complain about what others aren't doing for us when God has given us the power to do these same things for ourselves? And that's what we're doing. And so I'm glad and honored, and I hope that the spirit of Malcolm continues to live within us and around us. And we just want to pay homage to him. So within that, I would like to, for us, just virtually, here digitally, for us just to have a quick moment of silence for the legacy, the history on this anniversary of the assassination of Malcolm X. I'd like for us as Tulsa to pay homage to that man whose legacy, instruction, and inspiration is what fueled me, he, Marcus Garvey, O.W. Gurley, and others, but Malcolm X particularly, one of my favorite heroes and founders and forefathers of our community here in America, as Africans here in America. I want us to hold a moment of silence for Malcolm really quickly. If you want to close your eyes at home or wherever you're at, if you're driving or something like that, just keep driving. But let's be silent as we give it up for Malcolm. Thank you. We appreciate you, King. We could not do this without the footwork and blueprint laid down by our forefathers. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't even know how to start a Tulsa Fund. I wouldn't even think to even do this had it not been for those instructions. So we honor them. Now, tonight is going to be special. We're going to end this a little early tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern across all our channels, not Tulsa channels, but my personal page, Jay Morrison Academy, and other channels. I'm hosting a lecture, a free webinar on how to fund any business or real estate deals. It's very important to do this because as the fund manager who's overseeing this vision of group economics and economic stimulation in our community and participation in our community, I'm finding that too many of our community members have great ideas, great business ideas, great real estate ideas. They want to open a golf club, they want to do a bar, they want to do a cannabis, they want to do a hotel, they want to do apartment building, they want to do a flip, they want to do a rental, they want to do a hospital, but have no real experience, expertise, instruction on how to properly analyze, evaluate, and package these deals and bring them to our funds so we can partner on the deals. We want to partner, we want to fund, we want to fuel. I want to stimulate our community through this Tulsa Real Estate Fund, but I refuse to do it fast. I refuse to do it irresponsibly. I refuse to do it in favors. It has to be done correctly. It has to be done from a prudent underwriting standpoint, from a diligent underwriting standpoint, and it just has to be responsible because, again, I take on the reputational risk if things don't go well. And I'm the fund fiduciary who's a responsible party for all of our investment and capital. And so I want to fund our community. But if our community is economically ignorant, if our community is financially unastute, if our community is economically unempowered or uninformed or undereducated financially in regards to these real estate assets and deals and are not strong enough sponsors, operators, developers, investors, syndicators, facilitators, organizers, then I can't do my job in the fund manager and fund you. And just FYI, Tulsa Real Estate Fund will fund deals 100% financing. We'll fund deals with bruised credit. We don't care about your credit score. We want to see your credit report. I want to see who you've been in life, but we're not credit score driven. We'll do no money down. We'll fund apartments, we'll fund hotels, we'll fund flips, we'll fund land, we'll fund subdivisions, we'll fund real estate assets, and eventually maybe even some business opportunities and assets. But you must have some level of expertise and experience to at least bring to the table, or some proper analysis and evaluation of the business. You must be able to talk fluidly financial literacy, right? If you can't talk fluid finances and understand the basics that make up a sound real estate opportunity, I can't responsibly fund you. Now, I don't care about your credit, don't care about your capital, don't even care about your reserves. I care about the deal, the opportunity, and your integrity as a person, and your level of professionalism and being responsible. Because we gotta be co-responsible together. If you're irresponsible and I'm responsible, it's still gonna make a half irresponsible investment. But if you can prove you're a responsible person, like I'm a responsible person, a responsible professional, like I'm a responsible professional, and the opportunity, the deal, the asset opportunity, the development opportunity makes sense based on our criteria, oh, we can get some money together. You can get your deal funded. No money down. Bruised credit and all. Savings, don't even worry about it. If the opportunity makes the right kind of sense. That's the opportunity that we have in our fund. We can fund our deals fair, fast, flexible. However we want to fund our deals, we control that. But I refuse to be an irresponsible fund manager. You're not going to embarrass me, make me look bad. They're already waiting to slay me. But if we come to the table financially astute and educated and are financially responsible together, we can fund the amazing opportunities in our community and within our community, or even outside our community to community members. And so at 9 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be hosting a live stream lecture on Mr. Jay Morrison, at Mr. Jay Morrison Instagram, Mr. Jay Morrison Facebook fan page, Mr. Jay Morrison YouTube, on the Jay Morrison Academy, JM Academy Instagram, Jay Morrison Academy Facebook, all that. A free lecture teaching us. So I don't got to just empower you and inspire you and just say, yeah, do it. No, I'm going to show you what you have to look for and what you have to do to begin to become a responsible investor, developer, sponsor, syndicator, facilitator, organizer, all that on a deal. So 9 p.m. Eastern, I want you guys to log in to learn that. Share it with some folks you know who want funding, who want financing, who want to build wealth through real estate. You got a capital partner. I'm not your uncle, but Tulsa is our rich uncle. Most of us weren't born into wealth, weren't born into wealthy inheritance. So we created this fund to be the rich uncle for our community to fund and finance and back the deals that we often see could be win-wins for all of us. And the cool part about it is if you're not someone actively looking to do those kind of deals, you can invest and partner in the company starting at $500 and still own your shares, get your 8% preferred return, and get your share of 50% of the profits from all the deals that we fund as a fund within or without of our community. That's the whole concept. And so I'm going to save some of my energy and speak on that tonight at 9 p.m. I'm going to teach tonight. I want you guys to join me and spread the message. Be a Tulsa ambassador tonight. Go to my page, post. Can I see my phone, please? I got to post that flyer. Go to my page, repost, post, tell people to watch. Listen, our community cannot break the economic exploitation that Malcolm X talked about if our community does not know how to economically evaluate potentially economically profitable opportunities. Even with a fund back in our community, we still can't break our exploitation and have stimulation if the people in our community do not understand how to evaluate and analyze business and real estate opportunities properly. We just can't win. We're going to make stupid decisions, stupid moves, whether you come to our fund or not. You may not even need Tulsa's capital. You might have your own capital. But if you don't know how to invest that capital and analyze opportunities to know what to look for, you're going to lose, or your risks are going to be high. We want to mitigate those risks. We want to limit those risks. And so as I post this flyer for the up-and-coming event, we will take some question and answers. Are we doing that tonight? We got a moderator on?
Yeah.
We're going to take some question and answers tonight. I'm only going to go for about 6 or 7 or 8 more minutes, and then I want to reboot and get ready for the 9 p.m. webinar coming up. Again, on Jay Morrison and Jay Morrison Academy, all social media pages. And so definitely want you guys to join that. So that's it. Let's open for some Q&A for tonight. And we'll continue to live out Malcolm's legacy while we create our own legacy at the same time. Who we got in the question queue? Or live stream questions? Should I put it on speaker? Don't put it on speaker?
Nope.
Okay. Who we got? Who we got? Who we got?
All right, peace, family. On the line, press star 6 if you want to hop in and ask your question again at star 6.
Star 6. Star 6 for questions. Live stream can ask questions.
I have one for live.
Go ahead, Mom.
Okay, we have Jamie K. Hobson, excuse me. Question is, before you lend, are you wanting us to join Tulsa?
No, you do not have to be a Tulsa investment partner in order to be a recipient of Tulsa's funding capability. I mean, we would love for you to, participate on the other side as well, but you don't have to, no. If the deal opportunity makes sense, we would certainly consider it. We're not biased that way. So that's a great question, though.
All right, 901. Whenever you're ready.
Oh, hello. Let's see. Your webinar tonight is at 8 o'clock Central. Is that correct?
Yes, 9 p.m. Eastern, which I believe is 8 o'clock Central.
Okay.
1 hour behind.
Okay, so I can check it out not by calling this number, but by going to Instagram or your website. Is that correct?
It will not be on the
Or Twitter.
website. No, it'll be on Instagram or Facebook. Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, great. And the YouTube address would be Jay Morrison?
Yep, Mr. Jay Morrison. Yep, Mr. Jay Morrison on all platforms.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem, Queen. Yep. And for those on Instagram, you would just click my little picture or the JM Academy picture up top, and that'll be live at 9.
David Dada asks, what's new? I've been out. Did we start getting dividends? Just to check.
No, David. You know, David, that it's a 1 year lockup and then quarterly dividends after that 1 year. And the fund is not even IPO'd a year yet. So no dividends right away, but developments are underway. 3 of them to be exact. 3 developments currently going on, and $330 million plus of deals in underwriting right now that continue to be evaluated.
Okay, live we have a question from D. Lorenz, 84. With your academy, is that the education service?
Yes, the Jay Morrison Academy is our Wealth Education Institute. It's actually number 13 fastest growing educational companies in the country. And that is where you can learn the functions of doing and operating a real estate business. Building your business, branding your business, finding deals, evaluating deals, analyzing deals, negotiating deals, building a team, all of the functions of a real estate business in our curriculum of RBC's Real Estate Business and Credit.
All right, call in 323.
Hello?
Yes, yes.
Hey, Peace King. I had a question in regards to founding investors. If you wanted to increase your investment, can it go into your initial investment, or is it going to be separate from your initial one?
It will still be the same account for your initial investment, so it would still be under your account in one collective investment, but it will be 2 separate transactions.
Okay, so if let's say my initial investment was $1,000, it would show that I have now 2,000 separate. It's 2 separate transactions, but as a founding member, I would have this amount. It wouldn't be 2.
Correct. Yeah. To my knowledge, right? So I'm not the administrating guy, right? So I don't want to speak ahead of myself, but to my knowledge, yes, I believe it'll be all still under your same account, same name. You know, your shares will increase. We'll know it's 2 transactions, but yes, it should all be under the one account. It wouldn't be like 2 different accounts you got to kind of log into and that whole thing.
Okay, got it. Man, I appreciate everything you're doing for your people.
Thank you, King. Appreciate you so much for participating with us.
Okay,
Love.
take care.
We'll take 2 more questions if we got them. If not, we're going to log off and get ready for this webinar in about 20 minutes.
So Russell Bogan asks, are you interested in investing in ocean containers to convert into housing dwellings?
Yeah, you know what? Russell, I'm going to start off my 9 p.m. lecture with a container, right? A container home evaluation. Only if you promise, Russell, to be on at 9 p.m. because I don't want to waste my time talking about it and then you're not going to be there. But if Russell's going to be on it, I'll start talking about how you evaluate a container home opportunity. That's where we'll start tonight. And then we'll talk about how we fund it. Cool.
Okay, we got
Anybody else? 9
9
p.m. Eastern.
Product data. How do you go about funding your first investment property?
How do you do what?
How do you go about funding your first investment property?
Excellent. 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to teach you how to fund any business or real estate deals. I don't know if I'll tell you the topic of the lecture. The webinar tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern is how to fund any real estate or business deal. Let's learn. Then we'll know, and then we can advance and elevate and stimulate ourselves. Cool. Anybody else? One more question.
Another one live, unless we have one on the phones. We have.
Connie Griffin says, investing for 3 minors, all under 17 years old. Is that possible?
Yes, she would have to invest herself, and then she would transfer her shares, either create a will, she could simply create a will, and in that will pass down her shares or transfer those shares after her investment is funded.
All right, we got one live. Cairo Hall. What's the process to apply for a loan through Tulsa to fund a rental property?
Oh, perfect. I didn't mention that. Great one. That's going to be our last one for tonight before our 9 p.m. Eastern lecture, which will be on Jay Morrison Academy page or the Mr. Jay Morrison IG, YouTube, or Facebook fan page, or anything just Jay Morrison Academy. The process for applying for a Tulsa funding opportunity is simply going to Tulsa, tulsa-real-estate-fund.com, and click on Submit a Deal. Fill out our deal application and our partnership application, and it goes immediately to our team to scrub and to vet, and we'll contact you if that deal and based on your application is attractive to us. Simple as that. All right, so we're gonna wrap up, guys. Again, watch the replay to this. It's gonna be on YouTube. It's gonna be on Facebook. It's gonna be repurposed. Share this and lock in for this webinar tonight. I just can't say enough about it. Like let's stimulate. Let's do the work we gotta do. This is half the battle. Is pulling our dollars together, having a fund, starting at $500, be a partner, be an owner, get 8% preferred returns, 50% of the profits, right? We pull our dollars together. We got capital. We got resources, right? We're strong. But we have to be able to invest those resources responsibly into our communities. But in order to do that, we need responsible people on the ground. So tonight, I'm going to teach that side of it so we can start to bridge this gap. See you guys 9 p.m. Eastern. Mr. Jay Morrison, Mr. Jay Morrison Instagram, Mr. Jay Morrison Facebook fan page, Mr. Jay Morrison YouTube. Subscribe and follow those pages, as well as the JM Academy Instagram, Jay Morrison Academy Facebook as well. See you guys next week. Toast Talk Thursdays. Again, love, shout out to our forefather Malcolm X, to Mrs. Betty Shabazz, his entire children, offspring lineage who have sacrificed so much for our people. We salute you, King. Peace.
Next week you have a press conference.
Oh, next week, lastly, American Education Reform Press Conference. Changing the game, revolutionizing education. Come to Clark Atlanta University next week. Follow our pages for the updates. You'll see it everywhere. You can come on out, first come, first serve seating. Live stream it, repost it. American Education Reform. If you believe that our school system should be innovated, should be updated, that could offer more value for real life skills, especially from a financial perspective, if you believe that something should be done, we have that something, but we need you to support us in our American Education Reform Initiative press conference next week, February 28th, Atlanta, Georgia, Clark Atlanta University. Please repost that. Please support us. We do a lot of work, guys. I could talk about that for another hour, how much work our whole team does. So I really, truly ask, I don't ask for much, I truly ask that you do support us with simple little posts, simple little text, simple little shout outs when you can. We're doing the work. We're out here doing the real work, not just blogging, not just talking. We're working countless 12-hour days. Like every day is a 12-hour day. Like ain't no like 8-hour days around here. Every day a 12-hour day, at least. And so support us with a couple posts if you can and shout outs, and come on out live stream at American Education Reform February 28th. All right, then next week, Tulsa. See you guys then. Tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, how to fund any real estate or business deal.